All verse rising soul family. Peace to the gods, stars, and goddesses. Now we're going to talk about the dark-skinned melanated people. The nationalities of the dark-skinned melanated people who never grew up in their homelands where they originate from, where they're supposed to be. They be the main ones who be depressed when they're in these white supremacy countries like United Kingdom, Canada, USA, for example, and etc. white supremacy corporation countries that's strongly against dark-skinned melanated people of those dark-skinned nationalities. Those dark-skinned melanated people who spiritually awake, they don't feel at home in United Kingdom, Canada, USA, for example, right? Like it's just not their home, it's not their place, it's not their origins. You see how a lot of individuals be when they're in their homeland. They be super happy. They feel at peace. They feel at home. Think about those dark-skinned melanated people who grew up in Jamaica, St. Vincent, Trinidad, Haiti, Barbados. Those countries, for example, have the origins of dark-skinned melanated people. Like those dark-skinned melanated people who grew up in those Caribbean lands, those African lands, they be feeling at home. Why? Because they are in their origin homelands of the Father and Mother Nature essence. When you put a dark-skinned melanated person in the African and Caribbean countries, they gonna feel right at home. They're not gonna feel out of place. They're not gonna be like, man, why do I feel like the societies are against me? That's how a lot of dark-skinned melanated people feel out in United Kingdom, Canada, and USA, because those three countries, for example, are slave countries. Especially USA, for example. USA is a slave country that had mistreated a lot of dark-skinned melanated people that were Caribbeans and Africans for so many years, especially the dark-skinned Samoan people. I'm gonna tell you this, for example. Me, I never felt at home in USA. Look at the laws in USA. The laws in USA are so hateful to dark-skinned melanated people. If you're a dark-skinned Jamaican, a dark-skinned Haitian, a dark-skinned Barbadian, a dark-skinned Trinidadian, a dark-skinned St. Vincent, a dark-skinned St. Lucian, a dark-skinned Ghanaian person, a dark-skinned Ugandan person, a dark-skinned Kenyan, a dark-skinned Nigerian, dark-skinned Samoan, a dark-skinned Solomon Islander person, any nationality of dark-skinned people, you are going to get screwed over by the law systems in USA, United Kingdom, and Canada, and all these white supremacy countries that hate dark-skinned nationality melanated people. You know, this is the reason why a lot of spiritually awake dark-skinned melanated people are moving away from these white supremacy countries that don't love them. And these white supremacy countries, they have literally showed that they hate dark-skinned nationality people, but they still want these dark-skinned nationality melanated people to be in their corporation country. Like, I'm a whole foreigner. I'm not supposed to be in no white supremacy country. If you're a dark-skinned melanated person, you're not supposed to be in USA, for example. You're not supposed to be in no Western country. Like, I know me, I'm supposed to be in the Caribbeans. I mean, shit, I look Caribbean. Like, it's hard to not see it. It's hard to not see it. You can't unsee it. So it's like, and when you think about places like the African countries and the Caribbean countries, for example, of dark-skinned melanated people, they be feeling right at home. They don't feel no stress. They don't gotta experience no racism, no colorism. They don't gotta experience none of that shit. But in USA, dark-skinned melanated people, especially the dark-skinned males, they gotta experience colorism, racism, in the most subliminal, hateful ways, man. A lot of dark-skinned melanated males be getting plotted on in USA, especially in the fucking racist ass, colorist South. The South is more colorist than it is racist. I will say that. Especially come down to places like Louisiana, you're gonna see a lot of colorism toward dark-skinned melanated males. I promise you that. That's a guarantee. So if you're a dark-skinned melanated male and you grew up somewhere out in the eastern states of USA and you don't know what the southern states are like, please avoid the South. Just do yourself a favor. Don't come to the South if you're a dark-skinned melanated male, especially if you one of those dark-skinned Caribbeans. Like, it's not gonna be pleasant for you. That's why when the system crashed, when the matrix system crashed and the FEMA camp starting to take up a huge stand in like enslaving a lot of sleep citizens who didn't want to take heed to spiritually awake people's message, I'm gonna be the one heading out to the Caribbean countries, because the Caribbeans and the African countries is literally my homeland. I'm dark skinned, so it makes perfect sense. USA was never the home. United Kingdom was damn sure not the damn home. And Canada is damn sure not the home. Those three places, for example, never was the home for dark-skinned melanated people. We did not come from there. We dark skins, we did not come from there. We come from like Eastern countries. Countries way far from Western lands. I know a person like me looking like the way I do. I came from the Caribbeans. It's hard to unsee it. If you put me in St. Vincent, I look like anybody there. You put me in Jamaica, I look like anybody there. You put me in Barbados, Haiti, I look like anybody there. So a lot of dark-skinned melanated people who grew up in these Western countries, only due to the lack of spiritual intelligence that a lot of family members did not have, and they thought that the racism and colorism had left these Western countries. It never left. So a lot of the dark-skinned melanated people who grew up in the Western countries that are spiritually awake, especially the dark-skinned melanated males, they had to go through subliminal colorism every single day. Subliminal racism every day. Whereas like racism from these European-blooded Latins or Mexicans and Middle Easterns and etc. Like that subliminal racism, subliminal colorism toward dark-skinned melanated people is crazy. It's crazy out in the Western countries, especially in places like United Kingdom and USA for majority. So if you're a dark-skinned melanated person and you are in the Western countries and you're fighting with your best, you fighting with your all to leave those countries, man, it'll be the best time to leave when the system crashes, because money won't be an issue then, because money's not going to be in no control when the system crashes. So that's the perfect time to like move out those Western countries, because I know I'm moving out those Western countries. I'm not going to be in the Western countries when the system crashes. Like all these colorist and racist people that hate dark-skinned melanated people, hate dark-skinned melanated culture, they're gonna be the ones in these FEMA camps. A dark-skinned Caribbean like me is not gonna be in this Western country. You're gonna find me out in St. Vincent, Jamaica, all these other Caribbean countries or African countries. You could put that on there. But that's all I gotta say. We dark-skinned melanated people never felt home in the Western countries. How you think Static Shock felt when he literally went to his African countries and felt at home knowing that there was melanated superheroes out there? But that's all I gotta say.